Did you know that Adam was created outside the garden? So the dust of the earth that God used, he used outside the dirt, the dust outside the garden to create Adam, blow breath into his nostrils, and then he placed him in the garden. Eve, who came from Adam's rib, well, she was born in the garden, really. You could say she's a native of Eden. The true native. I'm not trying to go somewhere. I was reading Solomon. You know, it's this whole romance, poetry, and it's like, no, it's like women are property, and it's all about what they look like, and it's all about, men thinking that they're going to protect like their sisters, and they've not protected women. I mean, again, has it gotten a little better over time? Yeah, but I don't think nearly where God wanted it to be. No, no, no. There's like a problem that I never realized was such a problem. See, just like with slavery, God said he was against it, but he gave free will. So he wasn't going to interfere with free will. So even though he hated it and he said, I will avenge it someday, I mean, people will pay a price for it all, he put parameters on it. So then realized, I'm like, that's what he did with all of these men in the Old Testament that had all these concubines. God didn't support it. He made it clear he didn't support it. But because he wouldn't interfere with free will, he regulated it in ancient Israel, but never endorsed it. Man is in so much trouble. Seriously, because it's been forever, whether it's the Old Testament, the New, and it goes back to why God didn't tell Adam to rule over his wife, but instead warned Eve, your husband will rule over you. And the men, because they kept women out of teachings. Like, these are all of this stuff is why I understand that Jesus came for everyone. He, of course, would want to save everyone. But he knew that women were in most need of him. They had little hope. They had no opportunity, especially back then. And then look even forward. Look at where Turning Point wanted to take everything backwards. So can you see why God didn't intervene? Complaining about women having the right to vote. But I realized that's why women received Jesus because it was hope. Because for them, they just lived in despair. They did. I mean, Jesus was the only man that ever stood up for women, really. I mean, I know there's been some here and there, but overall, because of this construct going back to the beginning that man created for itself, not God, man's kept the world in sin. Trafficked all these women. I mean, it's 75% of people trafficked are women and girls. Like 29% is men for labor. But, you sit back and you go, what's really changed? Nothing has changed. We've just become more, technologically savvy. But still, many just as barbaric. And then, you have there's crazy women. I look at E. Jean Carroll, okay, a total nut job, really. And you hear through the years, oh, this psycho bitch, this psycho woman, and it's like, well, yeah, because look at you people. Look, I mean, why do you think you get the radical feminists went to the crazy land? Because men never wanted to see how you've been ruling the whole time. You've never, even, especially you ones that stand at your bully pulpits in the church and carry on about women having to submit to you. No, God wanted people to submit to him, but he knew you men weren't going to. So Jesus came at least hoping to save the women from the men telling them to submit. Like, it's like the repeating story. In Solomon, it's all about, it's like poetry, but I think it's kind of creepy. And I think whatever the men have wrapped up around it, the ancient scholars and all, has been not what it really is. So, one of the things I think God is most especially upset about, I do, is because how do I say this? Is because he warns against longing for longing for love. It's like he's warning women because he knows what's going to happen. The men are going to have all these concubines, and they will be stupid enough to think that because God is regulating it, even though he's made it clear, I'm not happy with you doing it, but since he won't interfere with free will, he's trying to warn them not to, because there won't be many out there that will be of good quality at all, well, regardless of if they're elite families or not. There just won't. Because men have never, in the history of the world, have ever had to humble themselves. Never. Never. Look at how upset they got by the feminist movement. And I mean, I didn't like the feminist movement, but that's because they were being exploited. I mean, but what they were in the beginning was wanting the rights to vote. I mean, that was, Jesus was fully behind that. And then seeing these men now that they've created all these men on these campuses to believe this same stuff. It's like, you just want to take, like, that's what this world does. Man just wants to take hope away. Use women, abuse them emotionally, physically, sell them, exploit them. And then what women do is they lower their expectations over time. Lower, 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 lower. That's what they do. Because the quality, there's not much quality there. So lower your expectations some more. Because, I mean, it's always, men could take love or leave it. They don't, because they're like Charlie Kirk. They think empathy is some made up thing. And it's like, no. It obviously isn't, because it wouldn't be there if God, we're made in the image of God too. And then you read this stuff from like Solomon, and everything is going back to the garden. It's like, I'm going to go down to my garden and see how my lilies are doing. Like the way they look at women is property, and these, just, I can take them all in this gluttonous way, and because I'm man and I'm ruling the earth, and it must be okay with God because he hasn't done anything. Yeah, well, I think he's going to be doing something.